Stop. Just stop. Take a breath. No, seriously. Step away from that blinking screen for just 1 second. How many times have you checked your phone today? 10? 20? If your broker had a "you're acting desperate" notification, it'd be lighting up like a Christmas tree right now. Oh, look, another setup. Another perfect entry that your gut just knows will work this time. Yeah, because that gut was so accurate during the last 10 losses, right? You're not trading anymore. You're feeding an emotional habit. This isn't strategy. It's addiction wearing a trading jacket. You've turned into the financial version of a slot machine addict, except instead of pulling a lever, you're refreshing MetaTrader and Bybit and pretending it's analysis. You tell yourself, "I'm just staying disciplined." But deep down, you know what you're chasing. The endless, exhausting loop of trying to get a dopamine hit again. It's not about money anymore. It's about relief. Relief from boredom. Relief from self-doubt. Relief from feeling like you're falling behind everyone else who made it on Instagram. Just buy my secret indicator, bro. 99% win rate. Works on all time frames, even during eclipses. You've heard it all. The magic setup, the AI indicator, the whale tracking strategy. They sell you a dream, but they never sell you truth. Because here's the ugly truth no one wants to admit. Your edge isn't in the chart, it's in your mind. The difference between blowing accounts and building wealth isn't in your moving averages. It's in your emotional control. And yet, every course, every mentor, every signal group skips that part. Because it's not sexy to sell patience. Introducing the boring trader method. 100% guaranteed to make you wait for setups and question your entire existence. Yeah, not exactly viral material, but that's where real profitability begins. In boredom, not excitement. You see, there are two traders inside you right now, the gambler and the master. The gambler trades on emotion, chasing every spike like it's the last rocket to financial freedom. They say things like, "I can't miss this move," or "this time I know it's gonna moon." Meanwhile, the master sits in silence, same market, same setup, but completely different energy. Where the gambler feels panic, the master feels control. Where the gambler reacts, the master executes. But of course, right now, you're not that master. You're the one whispering sweet nothings to your losing trade like, "Come on, baby, just one more pump. Daddy needs new equity." Yeah, it's funny until you realize you're down 30% and explaining to your cat why you just need one more breakout. Becoming profitable isn't about adding more to your system. It's about subtracting your emotional baggage from every decision you make. You think you're chasing freedom, but really, you're chasing a feeling. And that feeling, that dopamine spike, is the same drug that ruins traders faster than any bad setup ever could. So here's the question. What if your biggest trading problem isn't your strategy? What if it's you? When you finally see that, everything changes. That's when the addiction fades. And discipline finally makes sense. Because in this journey, there are 4 signs, 4 psychological checkpoints that prove you're no longer trading like the gambler. You'll discover the death of FOMO, when missing a trade actually feels like victory. The master's metric, when you stop measuring in profits and start measuring in process. And system integrity, when you cut losers without emotion. And the final test, the sleep cue. If you can master these, you'll no longer chase setups. Setups will chase you. Because profitability isn't about predicting the market, it's about controlling yourself inside it. So before we move on, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Then ask yourself, are you trading to win or are you trading to feel alive? Because once you see the truth, you'll never look at your charts the same way again. Your equity curve looks like a hospital heart monitor. Flatline, spike, crash. Congratulations. Your trading account is officially in critical condition. Doctor, we're losing him. He just added to a losing position. Yeah, welcome to the ICU, the intensive chart unit. Because if we're honest, you don't have a trading problem. You have an emotional dependency problem, cleverly disguised as staying active in the market. You've tried it all, moving averages, Fibonacci, price action, indicators that look like a spaceship dashboard. And yet, your results still look like Bitcoin in 2018. I just need one more system, one more tweak, one more confirmation candle. Sure, because clearly it's not your emotions. It's that missing 7th EMA crossover that'll save your career. Let's be real. You're not optimizing your strategy. You're avoiding accountability. Because every time your trade fails, it's easier to blame the setup than to face the truth. The market didn't beat you. Your emotions did. You see, the market doesn't care how smart you are. It doesn't care about your background, your degree, or your 17-hour YouTube binge on smart money concepts. It only cares about one thing: consistency. And consistency isn't built through knowledge. It's built through emotional control. Let's expose it. You say you love trading, but what you really love is the dopamine. The excitement of a new setup. The little jolt when you click buy. That surge of hope right before the candle betrays you. You're not addicted to profit. You're addicted to possibility. So tell me, when did you first start feeling the urge to revenge trade? Probably when Bitcoin rejected my entry like my high school crush. Every losing trade doesn't just cost you money. It feeds your emotional loop. The pain, the frustration, the desperate need to fix it right now. That's not trading. That's gambling with extra steps. Inside every trader lives two characters: the gambler and the master. The gambler wakes up, checks the charts, and says, "If I can just catch this breakout, I'll make back everything I lost." They chase, they over-leverage, they trade like they're in a fast. And furious movie. Except the only thing going fast is their margin call. Coming soon to theaters near you. Fast and Delusional 9, The Trader's Revenge, starring you. Co-starring your blown account and a mountain of emotional damage. But the master plays a different game. They don't chase the market. They let the market come to them. Their charts look the same every day. Simple, clean, boring. And that's what makes them dangerous. Because while the gambler is busy chasing dopamine spikes, the master is stacking statistical edges and emotional patience. The gambler wants to feel alive. The master wants to feel in control. The addiction goes deeper than you think. Every time you say, "just one more trade," your brain releases a little shot of dopamine, the same chemical that lights up when you scroll TikTok for hours. Except here, your scroll costs $500 per click. You call it trading. Your brain calls it Vegas with extra steps. But what if this is the one trade that changes everything? That's not intuition. That's hope mixed with hallucination. Because profitable traders don't pray for setups. They prepare for them. You're not failing because you're dumb. You're failing because you're confused about who you are in the market. You think you're a strategist, but you act like a speculator. You think you're a professional, but you behave like an addict in a bull run. Every losing streak becomes personal. You take every loss as proof that you're not good enough, and then you double down. Because nothing says emotional control like taking another trade immediately after rage quitting the last one, right? Revenge trade? Don't mind if I do. And there it goes, your account, your sanity, and your weekend plans. At some point, every trader hits the mirror moment. You stare at the charts, same setups, same patterns, same mistakes, and you finally whisper, "It's not the market. It's me." That's the beginning of transformation, because when you stop trading to feel something, you start trading to achieve something. The market rewards only two things: system integrity and emotional control. Every strategy works for someone, but none of them work for someone who's emotionally unstable. You can have the best risk-reward ratio in the world, but if your brain can't handle boredom, you'll sabotage it. That's why the master doesn't chase perfection. They chase consistency. You don't need a perfect setup. You need perfect self-control. Because in the end, your P and L is a reflection of your psychology, not your indicators. And that's what this video is about, to help you identify the moment your identity shifts. From the gambler, driven by emotion, to the master, guided by process. Because the moment you stop asking, "How much can I make?" and start asking, "How well did I execute?" that's when the real transformation begins. So as we move into the next chapter, remember this: the market isn't your enemy. Your impulses are. You don't need to outsmart the charts. You need to outsmart yourself. Because, let's be honest, your biggest losing trade wasn't BTC or NASDAQ. It was your ego. And until you learn to close that position, you'll keep getting margin called by your emotions. The path to profitability isn't about chasing signals. It's about reprogramming your identity. Every trader eventually faces that moment, the point where logic dies and emotion takes the wheel. The screen glows, your heart races, and suddenly, You're no longer analyzing the market, you're fighting it. The siren song of impulsivity, it calls your name at 2 a.m. whispering, "You can catch this one, it's different." Yeah, right, because the market totally respects your bedtime. It starts innocent. You're just checking the charts. Then, bam! Price starts running, and suddenly your brain turns into a toddler at a candy store. Oh my God, it's pumping! This is it! The move I've been waiting for. So what do? You jump in. No confirmation, no plan, no stop loss. You're basically screaming, "Take my money, market," like it's a charity donation drive. And in that moment, ladies and gentlemen, we officially lose another trader to FOMO syndrome. Symptoms include sweaty palms, over-leveraged positions, and the firm belief that this one will moon. At first, it works. Green candles everywhere. Your P&L shoots up and you're feeling invincible. Let's go. I knew it. I'm built different. 5 minutes later, liquidation. Account, gone. Confidence, gone. Sanity, questionable. And as your position implodes, you sit there whispering the trader's national anthem. It was supposed to retrace. So tell me, when did you first start believing in the Fibonacci fairy? You didn't lose to the market, my friend. You lost to your impulse. Because that's the siren song. It lures you in with excitement, then wrecks you on the rocks of emotional chaos. But if the siren song is what pulls you in, then the anchor of emotion is what keeps you stuck. You're in a losing trade. You know it's broken structure. You know your stop should have hit 5 minutes ago. But you say, it'll come back. The market's just faking out. Right, because the market clearly cares about your feelings. You hold, and hold, and hold. And what started as a small drawdown turns into an existential crisis. You're not analyzing price anymore. You're negotiating with your trauma. If it just goes back to break even, I swear I'll never overtrade again. You're not trading a chart. You're trading your hope. And then comes the worst part, your ego. Your ego doesn't want to admit defeat. So instead of cutting the trade, it says, no, I'm not wrong. The market is wrong. Ah, yes, the entire global economy conspired just to stop you out. You start averaging down, convinced you're proving your intelligence, but in reality, you're proving your insanity. You're no longer protecting capital. You're protecting your pride. And that's the most expensive defense mechanism on Earth. Impulsivity leads to loss. Loss leads to revenge trading. Revenge trading feeds ego. Ego leads to deeper loss. Round and round we go. Welcome to the gambler's cycle. Responsible for 90% of retail trader pain and 100% of emotional breakdowns. I just need one more win to recover it all. And that, my friend, is the sound of a soon-to-be margin call. I remember my own breaking point. It was during a crypto bull run. You know, when everyone on Twitter suddenly becomes a genius. Price was going vertical. My system said, don't chase. But my ego said, bro, this is the one. You'll never forgive yourself if you miss it. So I broke my rule, went all in. Over-leveraged like I was auditioning for Squid Game Trader Edition. At first, it worked. Account up 80% in one day. I felt like a Wall Street superhero with no cape. Then the pullback came, and in 1 hour, everything vanished. Not because of bad analysis, but because of an emotional hijack. That day, I learned the truth. You don't go broke because you're wrong. You go broke because you stay wrong. And that's where every trader reaches a certain point. The moment you finally realize it was never about the market. It was always about you. When you recognize that the same hand clicking buy and sell is the same hand sabotaging your plan, you begin to see the truth. Losses don't define you. Your reaction does. That's the moment traders go from chaos to clarity. From the gambler to the apprentice. You start to notice your emotions before they take control. You start pausing before you place that impulsive trade. You start thinking, maybe the win I'm chasing isn't in the market. Maybe it's in my mindset. That's the apprentice's relief. The first breath of freedom in a trader's life. Because you finally understand that losing a trade doesn't mean you are a loser. The charts don't judge you. The market isn't punishing you. You were just fighting your own reflection, and you finally stopped swinging. Congratulations! You just leveled up. And no, not the fake I just bought a Lambo level. The real level, where you can finally trade without anxiety, desperation, or caffeine-induced hallucinations. Because the moment you hit your breaking point is the moment you break through. Every trader has two lives. The first begins when they start trading. The second begins when they realize they don't have to fight their emotions to win. Welcome to Transformation and Mastery, the stage where chaos finally gives way to clarity. You've survived the storm, the impulsivity, the addiction, the gambler's chaos. Now you stand on the other side, wiser, calmer, and just a little bit traumatized. Congratulations! You're officially a real trader now. If you haven't screamed at your monitor, questioned your life choices, and promised your laptop you'd never overtrade again, you haven't earned your stripes yet. But this is where everything changes. This is where the master is born. Because mastery isn't about perfect entries, it's about perfect psychology. It's not about more trades. It's about better ones. And it starts with the 3 core shifts and the 1 master cue. Core shift number 1, the death of FOMO. Rest in peace to every trader who chased a candle and called it momentum. The first sign of mastery? You no longer feel regret for missing a move. You feel relief, because the master knows if you missed a trade that didn't align with your system, you didn't lose an opportunity, you gained integrity. But what if it flies without me? Then let it fly. You're not a bird, you're a strategist. Chasing candles is for gamblers. Patience. That's the real flex. You see, beginners celebrate big wins. Masters celebrate discipline. The master doesn't need the thrill. They have something better. Peace of mind. Oh, you missed a move? Sad. No, beautiful. Because that's when you know you've broken the emotional leash of FOMO. The addiction that made you chase illusions instead of execution. Core shift number 2. The master's metric. Once upon a time, you measured your success in dollars. Now, you measure it in decisions. I made $500 today. Cool. Did you follow your plan? Because if you made money but broke your rules, that's not skill. That's luck cosplaying as talent. The master asks only one question after every session. Was my decision process sound? If the answer is yes, then even a loss is a win. Fold when the odds are bad. That's trading. That's professionalism. Because money is just feedback, not validation. When you stop trading for dopamine and start trading for data, you're no longer chasing outcomes. You're tracking behavior. That's the shift from ego to execution. Core shift number 3, system integrity. Rule number 1, trust your system. Rule number 2, read rule number 1. The master doesn't care about being right. They care about staying consistent. If their setup breaks, they exit instantly, even if they're in profit. Because the master knows, one broken rule invites 1,000 broken habits. But it might still go higher, and it might not. But what's certain is this: breaking your rules breaks your edge. System integrity is freedom. Freedom from greed. Freedom from emotional roller coasters. When you follow your plan flawlessly, the result doesn't matter, because your process is pure. It's like dieting. You can't eat cake and then blame the scale for lying. Your account doesn't care about your cravings. System integrity means you trade what you see, not what you feel. Master cue, the sleep test. Here's the ultimate psychological checkpoint, the unspoken master cue. Ask yourself one question: how well do I sleep with open positions? If you're waking up at 3 a.m. to check charts like a jealous ex stalking an ex's Instagram story, your position size is too big. Oh my God, is it breaking out? Did my stop hit? Should I move it? Should I? Stop. Breathe. Go to sleep. If your trade is affecting your peace, it's not trading, it's torment. The master sleeps soundly because their risk is defined, their stop loss is respected, and their plan is complete. That's the difference between the anxious trader and the ascended one. The master knows that peace of mind is the highest ROI. Every professional trader has a secret weapon, the perpetual reset. After every win or loss, they reset emotionally. No baggage, no bias, no revenge trading. Like clearing the cache on a slow computer. It's how the master keeps their mind fast, clean, and deadly focused. Yesterday's trade doesn't exist. Only now does. Yeah, it sounds like something out of a kung fu movie, but it's real trading psychology. Because if you carry your last loss into your next setup, you're not trading the market, you're trading your memory. The master treats every trade like a new lifetime. A blank chart, a clear mind, and a single mission. Execution without emotion. That's how consistency is born. This is where most traders quit. But you evolve. Because you finally understood the secret the gurus never tell you. Trading mastery has nothing to do with the market and everything to do with self-mastery. When you reach this level, the market stops being your opponent. It becomes your mirror. It reflects your patience. It mirrors your fears. It tests your discipline. And for the first time, you pass the test. I followed my plan today, and it feels amazing. That's the win that no dollar amount can match. Because profits come and go. But peace, consistency, and self-control, that's wealth that lasts. And just like that, you've crossed the bridge from chaos to clarity. From gambling to greatness. From the old you to the master. Every trader reaches a crossroads. One path leads back into chaos, the cycle of fear, hope, and FOMO. The other path leads to mastery. And this is where your story truly begins. You've felt the addiction. You've battled your ego. You've seen your emotions hijack your trades like hackers breaking into your MetaTrader account at 3 a.m. But now, you know better. Now, you're ready. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard Flight Discipline, Destination, Consistency. Please fasten your stop losses and prepare for turbulence. Because, let's face it, trading mastery isn't about avoiding storms. It's about learning to surf on top of them, with your risk properly defined, of course. Here's where mastery gets real. Before every trading session, take a blank sheet of paper. Not your phone, not a trading app, an actual piece of paper, old school style. Write down one simple question. Am I executing my edge, or am I being held hostage by my last trade? I don't need to do that. I'm fine. Ah, yes. Famous last words. Right before the candle eats your stop like a hungry Pac-Man. If your answer is executing my edge, proceed. You're clear. You're aligned. You're in control. But if the answer is held hostage, step away from the charts. Because no profitable trader ever won a battle while emotionally kidnapped by their previous mistake. Every trader loses. Every single one. The difference between a meltdown and mastery is what happens after. The professional doesn't throw the keyboard. They don't yell at the screen like it owes them rent. They perform a ritual, the perpetual reset. They close the chart. They breathe. They reset their emotions to neutral. Then they ask, what did I learn? Not, what did I lose? But I can't walk away. The market's moving. And so is your blood pressure. Walk away. Because true mastery isn't about controlling the market. It's about controlling yourself after the market humbles you. The master isn't some emotionless robot. They feel everything. Fear, excitement, doubt. But they've learned the art of not reacting. Breathe in, your edge. Breathe out, your ego. Sounds ridiculous, right? But that's literally the difference between a blown account and a seven-figure mindset. The master treats each trade like a passing cloud. No attachment, no obsession. Because they understand that mastery isn't the end of emotion. It's the management of it. At this level, trading stops being a hobby. It becomes a profession. A performance art. You don't chase the market anymore. You execute like a surgeon. Precision, patience, preparation. Remember team. Amateurs react. Professionals prepare. Before every trade, the master has already accepted the outcome. They've rehearsed the loss, visualized the gain, and detached from both. That's how they win before the trade even begins. Because mastery isn't about never losing. It's about never breaking again. And now, this is your call. Not a call to make more money. A call to master your mind. Because every market condition, bullish, bearish, sideways, chaotic, is just a mirror reflecting your internal state. When you master the mirror, you master the market. So you're saying I don't need 15 indicators? Exactly. You need one thing: clarity. Your most profitable setup is not on the chart. Here's the ultimate realization. Trading psychology isn't about becoming someone new. It's about removing everything that isn't you. When you drop the gambler, the overthinker, the impulsive chaser, what remains is your authentic trader identity. Calm, consistent, and confident. That's the real edge. Not a secret indicator. Not a strategy from a $999 course. But the ability to stay grounded when everyone else panics. In a world full of FOMO, one trader dared to follow his plan. Yeah, it sounds like a movie, because it is. Your movie. And the master? That's your starring role. Mastery is not a solo journey. It's a shared evolution. And that's what this community, this channel, is built for. To bring together traders who are done chasing noise and ready to build peace, process, and purpose. Because when you grow in silence, you trade in strength. And when you join a tribe of disciplined minds, you accelerate beyond what you thought possible. Before your next session, say it out loud. I'm not trading for ego. I'm trading for freedom. If that line feels right, you've crossed over. You've entered the realm of the master. Freedom? You mean I can finally trade without anxiety? Exactly. Freedom from overthinking. Freedom from needing to be right. Freedom from the emotional chaos that used to drain you. That's real wealth. This isn't the end. This is your new beginning. Because mastery isn't a destination. It's a daily discipline. Every decision you make now writes your story as a trader, not through profits, but through principles. So as you leave this video and return to your charts, remember this. Every click, every trade, every moment of patience is a vote for the trader you're becoming. You're not chasing anymore. You're aligning. And the market? It's finally starting to respect that. Welcome to Stick Trader Mind. You can also check out our ebook store for in-depth trading psychology tip to speed up your journey to consistency. Link is in our bio.